All right. Well, good evening. And this is Political Coffeehouse. And I am your host, Sandy. And it's good to see you guys. Glad you're with me. I didn't, hang on, I never got to turn on my on the air light that my daughter got me. I don't know if I can do it. It doesn't matter. Let's talk. Let's talk. So tonight we're going to talk about the resignation of the National Security Advisor under Tulsi Gabbard, Joe Kent. But we're also going to talk about the shit show that is absolutely MAGA. I mean, the fighting, the shit show. It's actually pretty funny, but not all of it. Okay, not all of it is funny, and a lot of what started for me was the I think I've talked to you guys about it before, some of you, about something I got from a friend from Israel. And we have been watching what happened. We've watched what happened in Israel on October 7th, which was just horrible. And there's so much controversy and garbage that swirls around about Israel waiting to respond and all this other stuff. But it's, turned out that it's pretty sad because it's a genocide that took place afterwards. And there are people that will argue about it, and there are people that hate to say it like that, but hey, it is. And I also want to talk about hate won't make America great. I want to talk about the people on X, because I've been spending a lot of time on political X, and it's really a cesspool. I want to talk about the people there. I want to talk about Laura Loomer, Randy Fine. I want to talk about Michael Rappaport. I want to talk about Mark Levin. I want to talk about Donald Trump. I want to talk about Jared Kushner. I want to talk about the shit show that is happening. But first of all, this guy, Kent, he has a lot of controversy. He writes, after much reflection, I've decided to resign from my position as director of the National Counterterrorism Center effective today. I cannot, in good conscience, support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent danger threat to our nation. And it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. Oh my God, the engines were on, and it has been a veritable shit show on Twitter, which seems to be the barometer of the United States, unfortunately, but it is. It really is. He wrote, I support the values and foreign policies that you campaigned on in 2016, 20, and 24, which you enacted in your first term, which he's talking to Donald Trump. Until June of 2025, you understood that the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of the precious lives of our patriots and depleted the wealth and prosperity of our nation. In your first administration, you understood better than any modern president how to decisively apply military power without getting us drawn into never-ending wars. You demonstrated this by killing Qasem Soleimani and defeating ISIS. So he goes on, and like I said, it became an absolute shit show. So I wanted to show you first. I wanted to show you a little video that is some memories. Hi, Benny Loco. Welcome. I wanted to show you some memories. So hang on, because this will kind of like start us up in Donald Trump land.
Nancy Pelosi, the speaker.
Well, when she first got in and was named speaker, I met her, and I'm very impressed by her. I think she's a very impressive person. I like her a lot. But I was surprised that she didn't do more in terms of Bush and going after Bush. It was almost, it just seemed like she was going to really look to impeach Bush and get him out of office, which personally I think would have been a wonderful thing.
Impeaching him?
Absolutely, for the war. For the war.
Because of the conduct of the
Well, he
war.
lied. He got us into the war with lies. And, I mean, look at the trouble Bill Clinton got into with something that was totally unimportant. And they tried to impeach him, which was nonsense. And yet Bush got us into this horrible war with lies, by lying, by saying they had weapons of mass destruction, by saying all sorts of things that turned out not to be true.
So, isn't that something? That was 2008. Now, listen, he was a piece of shit then. Because if you remember before that, the Central Park Five, how he had said that those guys were all guilty, and when they were deemed not guilty, he still said they were guilty because he's a racist. All right. So given that, we all know this guy. We know this guy. But it was interesting because look at him now. Look what he says now. And look what he said then. It's like, it's unbelievable. But to get back to Joe Kent, this resignation, honestly, today, it kind of shocked DC. It got everybody going. So he was the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, and he is now not can and could conscious support the war. He said that the war started because of the Israel lobby. He didn't name AIPAC, but everybody knows that everything in the United States is since Citizens United. It's not just AIPAC, it's CPAC, it's the pharma lobby, it's insurance, it's whoever has the most money to buy your politician, basically, right? So he goes, he is actually the first senior national security issue to publicly break with this administration. Now, why does this matter? Think about it, guys. Why does it matter? Because they never do. They absolutely, I don't think I remember an intelligence official resigning over war policy. Do you? I really don't. So I guess there are internal fractures in Tulsi Gabbard's shop, right? And he said, it's like, okay, he said the war is wrong. That's not fringe. This guy knows. But then there was, of course, a lot of controversy over his wife. Well, it turns out his wife writes for the Gray Zone. It's his second wife. He lost his first wife during the Iraq War. Now, his second wife, right around the time they got married, she writes for the Gray Zone, and the Gray Zone is Max Blumenthal. The Gray Zone is a very far left publication. They are extremely critical of the United States and our foreign policy, even the foreign policy of the Ukrainian war. And they've actually been, Gray Zone has been accused of being a Russian op and all this shit. But really, for the most part, Blumenthal, I don't think he's paid by anybody. They're just very, very, very verbal about how they feel about foreign intervention and wars and what they view as corruption. Okay, so that was a big thing that came out today. That's Laura Loomer, she's saying this. But immediately today, the reaction from, the shit show just, if I had, I don't know if I have a sound effect, but it's like a horror show. It really is. It's a horror show. So the immediate reaction from the far right ecosystem, and nobody engaged his argument. No, they screamed about it. They said, oh my God, they went to the, culture war narratives about Muslims. That's what they did. And national loyalty. And it was who led the fight. The three regular ones Laura Loomer, Mark Levin, and Randy Fine. The ones I can't stand. Their messaging is always through this lens that Islam is a civilizational threat. And they make it worse for everybody. I mean, she's such an Islamophobe. She has called Islam a cancer. She said, I am a proud Islamophobe. And she said, actually, Muslims should not be allowed to work for the TSA because they're a national security threat. And she is incidents, Muslim immigration bans, and she says, okay, let's mass deport everybody that's Muslim. And of course, they hate Ilhan Omar, and they're full of hate. That's the problem. See, I'm wearing my "Hate Don't Make America Great" sweatshirt because that's the goddamn truth. And Randy Fine is just as bad. He says, I mean, literally, this guy said if they force us to choose, the choice between dogs and Muslims is not difficult. It's gross. Now I'm going to show you some stuff in a minute because he's getting in a little trouble. But he also, with the Muslim immigration bans, and Muslims are radicals, and uses the term, he's defended the term Islamophobia. And then there's Mark Levin. And I know I've talked about this on my last show, but I'm getting a little bit more into this because I've been studying a lot of this narrative of the media. I've looked at when Elon Musk bought X even, and the correlation of the exacerbation of hate online. And there is one, but remember, correlation is not causation in the sciences. So Mark Levin, and he is definitely a hardline Israel supporter, staunch defender of Israel's war policies. And he says, if we are critical of the war, then we are totally naive about Islamic extremism. Totally. And that's incredibly rough, He says Western civilization is in conflict with radical Islam. Well, they don't want Western civilization in their countries. And when Muslims move here, they have their mosques, they go to Friday prayers, but I very rarely have seen radical Islamists. I mean, I worked with many Muslims. They went to Friday prayers, they were researchers, they were just like everybody else practicing. I thought this was the country of religious freedom. But the hate oozes from everyone. This country is totally a clusterfuck, I think. So Levin, and he's on Fox, so he gets a wider audience because he spews some of the shit on Fox. He really does. But you know what? It's kind of backfiring, and that's how I feel. When they say, oh, Muslims are inherently violent and Islam is incompatible with Western civilization and Muslim immigration has to stop, there's two unintended outcomes, I think. It normalizes religious scapegoating. So when one is treated as a threat, extremists apply the same kind of threat. Like, it radicalizes people on the far right. And what are we seeing because of Project 2025, right? We're seeing extreme radical Christianity. And I've been fighting with people online. Well, not really fighting, just having discussions with anybody that's not a troll, because boy, you don't know who's real on X and who isn't. But this anti-Muslim rhetoric and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, I'm going to say I've seen things I've never seen before online. It's insane. But let's move on. So the resignation really exposed this growing split inside the right. And now we have faction number one. We have the hardliners, the war hawks, Lindsey Graham, Have we seen Lindsey Graham? He has just about done backflips to support Israel. He is so hardline and touting the neoconservative foreign policy. Totally, he is. And he's running again, too. So I really hope somebody primaries him down there. Yep. Him and Mark Levin make a good couple. And they're really gung-ho with this whole Iran thing. And it's funny because they were so anti-war. That was what Donald Trump ran on. Then there's also the America First isolationists, which were the MAGA grassroots people, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. No more Middle East wars, and they are totally skeptical of any of the intelligence narratives. In fact, I know Marjorie was it Marjorie? No, it was Laura. Laura, who was screaming about Tulsi needs to resign next, right? That's what she said. So the Joe Kent, his resignation, he encompasses the American First people. And what is it? Why does it matter? Well, because now the shit show, the MAGA Civil War is it's a three-way fracture. And we're sitting back just going, we're just watching this. We're just watching it, get your coffee, smoke a joint, watch the MAGA Civil War. There are the Israel First interventionists, the American First isolationists, and the ethno-nationalist culture war influencers. And now, like I said, they're attacking each other, and it's funny. It really is. So this whole thing kind of shows you that the war narrative, it's cracking. MAGA is splitting. And the loudest voices, as always, are doubling down on all the religious scapegoating. Instead of debating policy, which is really what they have to, they should be debating this. And it's so sad because all we see is propaganda and religious hatred. It's pretty bad. To the point where, like now what's happening with Tucker Carlson, there was a call for him to be investigated. But it's not confirmed. It's not confirmed. But I have an article I'm going to show you from The Guardian. So, I think what we're going to do is move on. Let me see. I can give you, I think I showed this last time, but to show you what a creep that Mark Levin is, hang on.
We better be united. We better be strong. We better be focused. We better be articulate. We can't waste our time on Epstein and other stuff that are going on here that some people want us to focus on. I've about had it with all that stuff. We better focus on who we are, what we're doing, where we want to take the country, and what they want to do to the country. Mr. Speaker, God bless you, my friend. I appreciate you very, very much.
You too.
So that demonstrates Mark is a creep. I mean, he is so creepy. I don't know why Fox keeps him on there. I really don't. I mean, how can you possibly sit there and say to ignore Epstein? And of course I tweeted to him, well, gee, if you want to ignore Epstein, do you have something, do you have a little pedo-ishness in your pocket? Oh my gosh. It's crazy. All right. So we're going to go and we're going to look at, TR, we're in the stupidest timeline. We really are. It is the ignoramus, moronic, idiot timeline. Hang on. Let me get the right, okay, here we go. Can you see? I'm going to play this guy. This is Michael Rappaport. Michael Rappaport hates Mamdani. And here we go. We'll play him. The system audio is working. Yeah. Because I did not, like usually on a lot of my shows, I download things.
Every single day.
Can you see this? Okay.
Smiley face.
Watch this.
Zoran the moron gets up there and throws it around. Genocide this, genocide that, like it's a proven fact. no hesitation, over and over, like it's documented.
How's the video
There's no
audio?
discussion, there's no nuance, except for it's not a fact. It's not based on reality. It's not even claimed by the kidnapping, murdering, drugged out terrorist animals that you, Zoran the moron, adores. The ones your wife publicly
I'm trying to make it as loud as I can.
drawing her third grade scribble, scrabble, doodles. They don't even
All
call
right,
it
hang on.
genocide. But
Let me see if I can make the audio better, because I didn't do a great job at setting. All right. Oh, all right. Because we really got to hear this guy. Michael Rappaport. Wasn't he? I think he was a comedian. Just listen to the venom. Listen to the venom. It's awful.
day, this scumbag, smiley face, Jew hating Zoran the moron gets up there and throws it around. Genocide this, genocide that, like it's a proven fact. No hesitation, over and over, like it's documented. There's no discussion, there's no nuance, except for it's not a fact. It's not based on reality. It's not even claimed by the kidnapping, murdering, drugged out terrorist animals that you, Zoran the moron, adores. The same ones your wife publicly cheerleads for, liking posts and drawing her third grade scribble, scrabble, doodles. They don't even
Such
call it a
hatred.
genocide. But you every day, genocide, genocide, genocide. Meanwhile, in New York City and all over the country, Jewish people are getting harassed, threatened, and almost blown up right outside the front door of Gracie Mansion, where you live with your hateful wife, and you just keep going every day. You're lying to the world. You're lying to the people of New York. And worse than that, you're putting people in danger every single day with that garbage. Because when these sick radicals hear your dog whistles, they don't hear opinion. They hear a green light. They hear validation. We, Jewish people, we have asked you to stop. We have met with you. We have tweeted to you. We have begged you. You won't stop. You can't stop. Every day you do it. So when something happens, and God forbid it does, but I am afraid it is going to happen, don't say a word. Don't act surprised. Don't tweet. Don't say because it's on you every day.
So that is part of it. That's part of it. That's just one person. Now you tell me that this wasn't a genocide. And what we did, what I'm going to start from the beginning. What happened here? Look at this. That's Gaza. 70,000 people were killed. And he conflates. He's conflating Judaism. People are not hating all Jews. Look at this. Isn't this something? It's unreal. Unreal. So, okay. So I wonder if Michael Rappaport sees this stuff. You know? I wonder if he does. And here's a guy that wrote, Israel has wrongly conflated Judaism with their ongoing genocide in Gaza. Some Jews cry anti-Semitism when anyone criticizes Israel, which further conflates Judaism with genocide. Governments conflate criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism, which again puts Jewish people at risk. It's just a clusterfuck. I'm telling you, it really is. But and I'm not going to spend the whole time on this, but I really did want to talk about it because it bugs me. It really does. It really bugs me. And here's Laura. So here's Laura. Why didn't you fire Joe Kent when you were asked to by the White House? If this is what you believe, then Joe Kent was not only undermining President Trump, but he was also brazenly insulting your intelligence and ignoring your authority. Now, this is Tulsi. Donald Trump was overwhelmingly elected by the American. Now listen to how she does this, right? Donald Trump was overwhelmingly elected by the American people to be our president and commander-in-chief. As our commander-in-chief, he is responsible for determining what is and what is not an imminent threat and whether or not to take action he deems necessary to protect the safety and security of our troops. The American for the American people, and our country. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence is responsible for helping coordinate and integrate all intelligence to provide the President and Commander-in-Chief with the best information available to inform his decisions. After carefully reviewing all the information before him, President Trump concluded that the terrorist Islamic regime in Iran posed an imminent threat, and he took action based on that. She will not write anything down. And then Ben, our pastor Ben Dixon, he says she will go down as one of the greatest traitors to America. You're goddamn right. She will, because she did. Remember Tulsi? Remember Kim when we were for Tulsi when she did the Off Fossil Fuels for a Better Futures Act? And literally, but the stuff that is on now I will say there is a lot of anti-Semitism on here because of the hate this is the hate, right? The hate. And I don't know if I even can show some of this stuff. Some of it is so ugly. Now, here's one that said, Caroline Levitt had said this. The Post and Story, this is a while back. The Post and Story should be immediately retracted by ABC News for providing false information to intentionally alarm the American people. They wrote this based on one email that was sent to local law enforcement in California about a single unverified tip. This email even states the tip was based on unverified intelligence, yet ABC News left out this critical fact in their story. Why? To be clear, Caroline Levitt says, no such threat from Iran to our homeland exists. And there's that dude. So I'm going to go back to my bookmarks because that's the statement, and there she is. And so there are like I said, it's an incredible shit show. But now here is a guy that just showed, this is 3 hours ago. The Iranian regime is firing massive cluster warheads at Israel. Let's take a look at this.
יואו, איזה יופי. איזה יופי. יואו! כמה היא מלא. וואו.
Going through the Iron Dome.
זה מצב שהתפצל.
Okay, so I got a question. If this is happening, why did they start it? Why did they start it? I mean, why is this happening? Because of, again, all of the paranoia, which I, do believe that is Benjamin Netanyahu. But you see, everything I might say here could be called anti-Semitism. That's really, seriously, I am not kidding. And I'm as far from that. All right, I want to go to my bookmarks. Where's my bookmarks? Because I have a bookmark that I want to show you that I have written. Okay, here, this is mine. And then we'll look at this video, which some of you have seen. Now, this is my contention. I do believe it's dangerous, but it's more dangerous because of people like Laura Loomer, Randy Fine, Mike Levin, and Michael Rappaport, who are spewing so much hate that they are making Jewish people unsafe. I don't know why people just don't see that. The more they scream about their hate for Muslim Americans and Muslims in general, the more unsafe they are making it for all Jewish people, Abraham. And I was answering this guy, Abraham, criticizing Netanyahu, right-wing messianic government, is not anti-Semitism. I have watched friends that went to Israel as liberal Jews turn into rabid right wing haters over the last 20 years. You know who Yair Golan is? He's the leader of the Israeli Democratic Party, and he predicted all this in 2016 if Netanyahu was to have control. Yep. There are elections in October in Israel, and there is a movement, some movement away from Netanyahu. But how much? And what do you suggest? Censoring everybody? Because we're going to talk about the ADL in a minute. Look at this cesspool of a website. Elon Musk does nothing to protect anyone on this site. But I firmly believe that the people spewing the hate need to think about what they are doing to the greater tribe. They didn't learn the lesson of the Holocaust, and I'm going to play this again because this is a Holocaust survivor, and like I said, this winter I watched hundreds, I swear, I don't know if it's hundreds, but I could say tens and tens and tens of hours of Holocaust survivors and listen to her message.
When I see what's happening around the world, I think that people start ignoring it, or people say it didn't happen. I think, especially the young generation, that is part of history. Unfortunately, it did happen, and it should be remembered, and it shouldn't be repeated, which can easily be. The way when you listen to the news now, today, it can easily happen again.
Yes.
People should learn that everybody is equal.
Listen.
That people are the same, that in every ethnic group, in every religious group, there are good people and bad people. You don't put everybody under the umbrella, I don't like Muslims, I don't like Jews. Have a free, open mind. You see, I spoke to a young German student I met a few years ago. I was in the South Island. He was a backpacker, a very nice guy. And he saw my number. And he said, oh my God. And he started crying.
I
And
can't
said,
make it
"Hey,
any louder.
it's too late for crying. It's not your fault." He said, yeah. You know, I'd asked so many times my grandparents, what did you do during the war? I never get an answer. My parents won't talk about it either. I felt sorry for him because he carries the feeling of guilt. What worries me that very many, more and more people say it never happened. And the other thing is to teach the young generations that it did happen. Mm-hmm. It's part of us, part of history. And not only Jews are involved, I think the whole humanity is involved in it.
Yeah.
It's not only Jews who have suffered. I think the whole humanity suffered.
See what she says? They've got to learn the lesson. It's not. That is probably one of the most intense videos you'll ever see. That from a Holocaust survivor. Because she said, and these people who are spewing all this hate, which I can't stand, they have not learned the lesson. Randy Fine, a total idiot. I mean, look at Laura Loomer's. This is her rumble. Muslims declare war on dogs in New York City, for God's sakes. And the comments, Sharia law should be banned in the U.S. We don't have Sharia law in the U.S. One of the things I argued about was, we're getting Christian Sharia law. That's what's happening. And people argue back with me, but it's okay. White Christian nationalism. I asked them, did you read Project 2025? Do you like what's happening in this country? They're going to fight about, of course, this war is wrong, but they don't. Is it okay, Randy Fine, that Sharia law and Christian Project 2025 is taking over? They hate you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, let's see. this article, this is the Tucker Carlson article, and Tucker Carlson expresses fear that he may face federal charges for talking to Iranians. Carlson, in a video, claims the CIA is preparing a crime report against him and alleges U.S. agencies have read his text. Now, he was an anti Semite before this shit, okay? But he is saying now because he's coming against the war that now he's targeted, right? Now, is it a publicity stunt? We don't know. It could be. He has a talk show, but he is conservative. He's the former CNN and Fox News host, established his alternative media career. And he says the CIA is preparing some kind of criminal referral against me. And he said it's because he was talking to people in Iran before the war. And he claimed without evidence that the U.S. government agencies have read his texts. But he denied the claims that have not been leveled. I only have one loyalty, and that's to the United States. Now, this is in The Guardian, so if they picked it up, it's something else, right? The Guardian has asked for something from the Justice Department. You think Pam Bondi's Justice Department is even going to get anything, is going to answer? Bullshit. So Huckabee said, Mike Huckabee, that wonderful bastion of who's the diplomat to Israel. He said Carlson appeared to be insinuating that the Jews of today aren't really the same people as the Jews of the Bible, adding that he didn't previously know about that theory because it comes from some of the darkest realms of internet and social media. Well, I contend that you saw my Holocaust victim, survivor. People are a lot different than her. She's preaching never again in peace, and the people I'm showing you are preaching hate. A lot of it, and supremacy. It's white supremacy. So besides Carlson, it includes Megyn Kelly, Steve Bannon, and former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. And that's the break I told you. This is the MAGA shit show, man. This is the split. Kelly, for instance, recently rebuked Lindsey Graham, a South Carolina Republican senator, for his support of the Iran strikes, with the ex-Fox News host calling him a homicidal maniac with a bloodlust that is insatiable. Imagine people in the UK and around the world reading this. They're watching how ridiculous the United States is. They are watching the demented, feeble-minded Donald Trump. And Spain literally just had this big thing that they have, this big affair they have out in the streets, and people make these like beautiful paper mache, all these things. They did it of Donald Trump. I can't play you the video because it's real American news. Really American. They're good, but I couldn't play it. So she said that there's nothing unpatriotic or unsupportive of one's conservatism or general adherence to MAGA-type principles. But I would like to be better convinced that this is worth the sacrifice of American blood and treasure. That's where I am. That's where a lot of people are. But a lot of people are against this war. This is wrong war. Antonio and I did 2 shows on it. I did 2 shows on it. We've covered it on Environmental Coffeehouse, from wildlife to the artifacts in the country of Iran to bomb a 5,000-year-old civilization. But Carlson said this is Israel's war. And he said that in March. It's not the United States war. The war's not being waged on behalf of American national security objectives to make the United States safer or richer. And it's not about weapons of mass destruction or nukes. Now, I cannot stand him, but some of it rings true. It isn't. So the president, Trump, who really loved Carlson, he said, he's not MAGA. MAGA's saving our country. MAGA is making our country great again. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Is MAGA making our country great again? Oh, okay. I don't think so. But so do you see what I'm talking about when, it's an interesting break to see what's going on. Now we're going to take a look at Randy. I just want to make sure my audio is here because I don't see where my audio went and I would like to have it. Sometimes when you have, forgive me for this, but usually what I do is I don't usually do everything from the, that's weird. I can't find my audio. Oh, here it is. Usually I download videos. I do a lot of work. I download. I don't just use the website. So I want to play this one for you. This guy too. Because to me it's shocking, actually. But he's losing a key endorsement, and this is recent.
After a posting on social media, quote, "If they force us to choose, the choice between dogs and Muslims is not a difficult one." Fine represents parts of 6 local counties, including Volusia, where Sheriff Mike Chitwood pulled back his support of Fine. Chitwood posted on Facebook, quote, "I respect his fight for his faith and his beliefs, but I have to part ways when that fight turns into an attack on our Muslim neighbors. Beyond his latest controversy,
That's
I
in
cannot
Florida.
endorse wishing for kids in Gaza to starve or for Muslim American citizens to be expelled from the U.S." Now, Fine, who is Jewish, then posted, quote, "I respect Sheriff Chitwood and everything he's done to keep Volusia County safe, no matter your religious faith. We agree that no one should face discrimination for who they are and that no one should be able to use their faith to force values on others." Both Fine and Chitwood declined our request for an interview today.
All right, so you see that now all the bullshit that he said is coming back on him. Okay, now listen
Hey
to
folks,
you
it's
got
March
it.
17th,
You got
Now, the Congress tells the New York Post,
Evacuation
I just
day
think we
in
need to take a
Boston,
hard
the
look at how
You
these
gotta
folks
listen
became
to
citizens and if
You
they're
got to listen to this one. Sorry, I don't know why that other video started playing. Now this is another one. Oh my gosh! Just listen to this guy. He is like the clueless moron award of Florida. Although Florida, we know what the fuck Florida, right? Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness.
there is any fraud or violation of the rules, we need to denaturalize and deport. I know that there's a lot of us that are very, very concerned about the enemy within, people who have come to this country to destroy, to become citizens, to destroy it. And joining us now for more on this, Florida Republican Congressman Randy Fine. Congressman Fine, thank you so much for being with us here. Again, you're in Florida. We're here in New York City, where the rise of Mamdani is nearly impossible to ignore. But you say, even from the South, this is something that needs to be looked into. I understand exactly why you said that, but what makes you think he may not be a citizen?
Well, look, the barbarians are no longer at the gate. They're inside.
Listen to him.
Democrats got us so focused on illegal immigration.
Oh, my God.
We weren't looking at all of the people who are coming here who do not share our values, who do not want to integrate into our society, and do not want to assimilate. And Mamdani, having just moved here,
He moved when he was a kid, and Donald Trump likes him.
years ago is a great example of that. Become a citizen. Look, it is clear with much of what I have read that he did not meet the definition to gain citizenship.
Oh,
and
my
given that we've
God.
seen an investigation in Minneapolis where they looked at 1,000 people and they found 500 engaged in immigration fraud,
Yeah.
I think we need to look and see who was allowed to come into this country. And if they do not share our values and they were not honest, they need to be sent home. And I think that starts with Mamdani.
Congressman, I want to talk more broadly about the Democrat Party and what this says about where they are right now. I actually believe if it weren't Zohran Mamdani here in New York, it would have just been somebody else. That they were primed to put up a candidate like this here. You see they're doing it in other cities across the country as well, because that's where this party lives now, and that's where it's gone. And the loudest speakers in the room are the extreme left for the Democrat Party. And, you know,
And don't forget, Newsmax is a loser channel. But do you hear this, Randy Fine? Do you understand why I am saying that anti-Semitism is being fomented by these people?
Even to say, you know, I'm a Democrat socialist, that seems weird to me. It's almost like they've adopted a completely, I should say it's almost been hijacked. Their party's been hijacked by socialists, and that's where it's going.
You're absolutely right. Look, if you look at the radical left, they aren't socialists. They are communists. They want to take away private property.
Oh my God, yeah. The Democratic Party are communists. That fucking guy is fucked.
Don't believe in America. We're not talking about the Democratic Party of 30 years ago, where Republicans wanted one thing, Democrats wanted another, but we all wanted to get to the same point. We're now dealing with people who hate the country and want to destroy it.
We also do want to point out, though, that even that Zoran Mamdani has lived here since the age of 7. So it's not he just, showed up a few years ago. Jeez. But I understand what you're saying, because in order to become an American.
Well, amazingly, they fact check him. They fact checked this. I want to call him names, but of course, I'm being nice about it. But I'd really like to. And I troll him and I tell him all the time he's a wrong, but I write it nicely, like I wrote that post, not that anybody sees
Citizen.
it.
I just want to read the words because you referenced this, Congressman. You have to agree to uphold the U.S. Constitution, defend the country, and be loyal to the United States. And then this promises support to and defend the Constitution and laws. This is the part against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And we know from a lot of what he has said that those things he may not agree to. Is that something that you think could take away potential citizenship, or does that ever happen?
Absolutely. I think someone who wouldn't say Hamas is a terrorist organization violates that oath. I think someone who says globalize the Intifada, calling for violence against Americans, is violating that oath. It is clear
Mamdani never said those things.
That many people who never should have been able to become citizens were able to. They somehow snuck through. We owe it to the American people to go back, take a look, and the people who shouldn't be citizens to denaturalize and deport them. They were guests in this country. They made a promise to support it, and they don't appear to be doing that.
Yeah, don't really believe fundamentally in the American or the America that has been set up to change into something completely
in our
different.
philosophy.
Yes,
I
our
can't.
philosophy.
Our philosophy. Listen, I can't listen to this fucking asshole anymore. But he's pretty bad. He really is. He's just horrible. I can't stand Randy Fine. I can't stand him. I'm looking for. All right, here's another one. Now, I did a show the other day, and I did a piece on the JCPOA, which was the original treaty, I suppose, with Iran, 2015, with Netanyahu, and who didn't like it, but it was with Iran, and John Kerry and Obama did it, and it was working. And Trump, he tore it up. So now you got to listen to this. I didn't cue my own video because it was 6 minutes, but it was unreal that he should never have done this. None of this would be happening. The UN was watching over it. They were going in there. There was no enriched uranium. And, by the way, under international law, Iran could have enriched uranium for scientific research and energy. They were allowed. They were not enriching uranium for weapons. That's been a Netanyahu paranoid 40 years of this shit. Okay? So here we go.
If I didn't terminate Obama's horrible deal that he made, the Iran nuclear deal, you would have had a nuclear war 4 years ago. You would have had nuclear holocaust, and you would have had it again if we didn't bomb the site.
He's a liar.
When somebody is working with us that says they didn't think Iran was a threat, we don't want those people because, and there are some people, I guess I would say that, but they're not smart people or they're not savvy people. If I didn't terminate Obama.
Let me tell you something. He's not smart and he's not savvy. He's absolutely not smart. Kyle says words cannot describe how much I hate this man. Obama's deal quite literally worked perfectly. And it did. I remember it. I watched it. So I mean, these people they just drive me crazy. And I think it's really, really sad
When I see
what is happening in the United States. I really do. And it's just, the Trump administration is so ignorant. Oh, well, that's from me. I don't know how that came up. But anyway, so I've been an hour, and I think we're doing well. Let me see if I had any more that I wanted to show you guys. Well, I could show you her.
Sorry to say that.
Oh, yeah. Laura Loomer went to India last week. And this is another thing. I was dying laughing. She went to India last week. Why they invited her for this conference, I don't know. But listen to what happened there. Hang on. Oh, I gotta make it louder.
All, but your comments smack of anti-Indianism, racist and Islamophobic. And I'm sorry to say that we have Atiti Devo Bhava in this country where we welcome all, but your comments smack of anti-Indianism, worse still, Islamophobia, and even worse, racism, which has no place, ma'am, in today's world. So get real, ma'am. Sorry to say that, but that comments are unacceptable to me as an Indian and as a world citizen. Harris wins, the White House will smell like curry. Speeches will be facilitated.
She said the White House will smell like curry.
You then went on to say our country was built by white Europeans, not third world invaders from India. I think you should do more than just express regret. Be racist and Islamophobic.
Yep. So she got yelled at there, and then she did make a speech about how she's, Donald Trump's. He listens to everything she says, and yeah, pretty bad. And I did have one of Mehdi Hassan, who I really like, but look at this guy, Randy Fine. The barbarians are no longer at the gates. A few sit in the House of Chambers. And there are people that believe all of this shit. They follow all of this shit because they're hateful. The hateful rhetoric. Let me play this because I really like Mehdi.
A long history of bigotry, Piers, as you know. A day before he tweeted about picking dogs over Muslims, he tweeted Palestinian is a synonym for evil. All Palestinians are evil, according to him. In the past, he's called for the nuking of Gaza. He said starve away when people have talked about Palestinian children starving. He cheered and celebrated on Twitter when someone sent him a picture of a dead Palestinian baby. He said, thank you very much. The man is vile. He's racist. His rhetoric is genocidal. And he lied to you, Piers, when he said, I'm just against radical Muslims. He's, again, on record. Go check his Twitter. He says mainstream Islam is pure evil. That means that Islam practiced by all 2 billion people around the world is evil. This is what he says. So this is the Republican Party of today, Piers. I've been trying to tell you about it for the last 2 years on your show. It's a far-right, fascistic, white supremacist party. If Randy Fine said that about any other group, we would be saying that is Nazi rhetoric from the 1930s and 40s.
Yeah.
Anyone watching Randy Fine for the first time?
There you go. I mean, years ago, I used Mehdi Hassan in a clip in a video I made, and people literally got mad at me because he was on MSNBC at the time. They said, oh, you're using him, and now he's the darling. I was fucking pissed because I liked his voice then, and I like it now, and I didn't like the fact that people were judging him just because he was on MSNBC. I don't like the purity test either. That's bullshit. Here, I wrote this today. I find it interesting when presented with a topic that a rabid right-winger who doesn't agree with me, their go-to word is retard. And how many times I've been called a retard on X, on this X, not my environmental coffeehouse X, automatically turns me off to even consider what they have to say. I want to understand them, but I find that pathetic, really pathetic. That's what they do all over. These people are like 12-year-olds, or 8-year-olds even. They really are. So there was one more thing about something going on with Jared Kushner. And let me find it because I saw Kelly made a comment. And yeah, Jared Kushner's going to lose with all of the bombing of all of the different places in the Gulf countries. Jared Kushner's going to lose everything. He's going to lose his money. But I have to find it. Oh, there's good old Bernie. Bernie always right. AIPAC is spending millions in Democratic primaries to smear critics of Netanyahu's genocidal policies. It's time to kick AIPAC and other billionaire-funded super PACs out of the Democratic Party. And who would not agree with that? Yeah. Who would not agree with that? That's right. All right. I want to find that tweet. Typically, I don't do this. I really don't use so much of this, but I am today because this is where I got most of my stuff. But I don't know if I can find it. Hang on. Maybe I didn't bookmark it. Let me Jared. I'll see if it's going to come up because it was really good. Okay. It was really good. And I thought that, well, this is about him having no role in government. No, this is about Witkoff admits he and Jared Kushner are communicating with Russia through Putin and advisor Yuri Yershakov independently. Witkoff goes on to say Russians told them they are not sharing info with Iran, Pinky promised. But I really want to find, let me see if I can find. If I can't find it, I'll just tell you what it was about. Basically, he's going to lose it. He's going to lose it because of all this. They're going to say, well, screw you. We're not going to do any of the deals. I think that these countries that are doing deals with him are done. But, well, I don't think that I'm going to be able to find it. So I am coming back to you to have a little bit more conversation about all this. So you see why it is a mess. It's a mess. They're all fighting. But Donald Trump brings that on. And I'm just wondering who is going to be the next person that he's going to get rid of. Is it Tulsi Gabbard? Who do you think? Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know. But Donald Trump brings it on. Everybody in his cabinet is underqualified, is woefully underqualified. Today, there was a story about the Doge kids. The Doge kids went in when they were just slice and dicing grant projects, science grant projects. They were in their 20s. They knew nothing about what they were doing. Slice and dice, and it was only because what they saw said DEI. Anything that said DEI, that's what they sliced and diced. No experience at all. I mean, this administration is just the worst. We all know that. But what really gets me is that these mouthpieces are destroying. Everybody's crying anti-Semitism. I had one video of Jonathan Greenblatt from the ADL. He's literally saying, maybe I should show you that before I leave. He's literally saying, I'm going to find that one. Because he's literally saying that, let's see if I can find it, listen, you'll hear it for yourself.
Right now, the Anti-Defamation League report has found that severe harassment online has gone up 22% over the last 12 months.
And you heard who's doing it.
18% to 20 in 2023. The ADL says that the harassment was dominated by an unprecedented surge in anti-Semitism on and offline.
Can't even say it.
Anti-Defamation League CEO and National Director Jonathan Greenblatt joins us right now with more of those results. Hate and harassment up incredibly sharply. What's going on?
Yeah, we know that social media is a super spreader of anti-Semitism and bigotry of all forms. And I think what we're seeing now, Becky, is it's just exploded. Events in the Middle East, polarization here in America, and as you said, 18 to 22%, half of teenagers between 13 and 17 report having been harassed online. The numbers are staggering.
Well, okay, the numbers are staggering because I'm sorry, but when young people look online and they see babies and families being killed and they see the destruction and the rubble, what do you expect, Jonathan? Israel is run by a maniac, a right-wing maniac. And it's not the people, but Israel's had a problem for a long time.
We were just talking about how the Surgeon General is trying to get Congress to just allow them to put a warning on social media for parents saying it could be bad news.
There's truth to it. Like, I think we'll look back on giving our 13-year-olds phones like as if we were handing them packs of cigarettes. I mean, this is a dangerous thing to give to a kid who doesn't have the cognitive abilities, the emotional maturity to handle it.
It's not the phone, though. It's the social media.
It's the social media that's on every phone. This is the way that you're giving predators and bullies like 24/7 access to your kids. Now, at the end of the day, I mean, we've...
Okay. I do agree that parents could have a little bit more control over what their kids see. I don't think every 9-year-old needs a phone.
Seeing particularly minorities, LGBTQ, Muslims, and Jews being harassed serially on social media.
The harassment for Muslims even outstrips that for Jews.
It's like 47% of people who identify as Muslim report having been harassed online. 40+% of Jewish people report changing their behaviors so they don't seem Jewish. We've seen this. I've heard many stories about Jewish people like changing their names in their Uber apps, their Lyft apps, so the drivers don't know that they're Jewish.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking off camera, but there was an incident here in New York last week, I think, where in a subway chain, people chanting, you know, you have the opportunity to get off here if you're Jewish.
It's pretty much. They said if all Zionists, or any Zionists, will be safe if they're not. Look, they use the term Zionist. What they really mean is Jewish. And we've seen, I mean, this is of concern to, I think, all your viewers. We've seen attacks on Zionist businesses across the country. There's no such thing as a Zionist business. It's just if the owners are Israeli or Jewish. And it's ugly. You know, Starbucks have been, I used to work at Starbucks. I've heard from people inside the company. Hundreds of Starbucks across America have been vandalized, you know, with like Free Gaza and the red triangles. The only connection Starbucks has to Israel is Howard Schultz, the founder.
Has given.
All right,
Jewish.
listen.
That's it. They don't have any stores in Israel.
I'm going to stop. I want to stop this and go back to me and talk a little bit about some of this stuff. You know, I saw another clip with him today, and he makes some valid points because the United States is a country of hate and bigotry and racism and othering. It just is. He makes some valid points. But you have to, at one point, you have to say, these people, like Randy Fine and Laura Loomer, are part of the problem. And so when he talks about, seeing Muslim hate, it's not just the white nationalist Nazis that we're used to. I mean, how many years on the other channel did I make videos showing you the Nazis and the white nationalists and the people marching and all of that? But hate don't make America great. So yeah, Houston, we have a problem. We have a big problem. And I honestly do not think the problem will go away. Well, for maybe a generation or two, I'll be dead. But until the orange turd, the orange menace is out, I don't think it's going to change, because when he walked down that escalator, it got worse and worse and worse. When Obama became president, they were all angry. All the white nationalist racists were angry of having a black president. And that was partially why Donald Trump came to power, even though supposedly it was his economic and, he's going to do all this stuff, which what did he do? He mishandled the pandemic. I don't think he was a great president the first time. We saw fascism coming, and it is here. How did he allow Project 2025 to become the backbone of what our country is running on now? How? Well, it happened. All right, let's look at some of your comments before I leave. Thank you for coming. I do not have a political coffeehouse flush of the day. Yeah, killing people in Iran is not cool. No, killing people anywhere is not cool. I'm anti-war. We're all anti-war. That's the thing, except for those hawks like Lindsey Graham. And a lot of the Republicans are running around saying that they're justifying this with all of the bullshit rhetoric. When we know and we saw that there were talks with Iran, they were working, and then they decided, oh no, Trump and Netanyahu said, nope, we're going to bomb anyway. We're going to bomb anyway. They had to get out of the 2015 agreement. Everything went wrong. Donald Trump, I think, is the biggest destroyer of everything on the planet ever since he walked down that escalator. Okay. How do we not be replaced? People end up being the ones. Go back to Israel. Well, remember when they were in the Nazis were in Charlottesville? Is it in Virginia? And they were saying, we will not replace, you will not replace us, you will not replace us. Talking about black and brown people. I don't know, were they talking about Jews? Let me see, guys. And it's good to see Benny Loco here. Yeah, Zedio rules. He does. And you have no idea how angry I was. I have the video. I can play it. I used it. He was narrating and people got mad at me. Fuck the purity test. And I can say all that because I'm not monetized here yet. You can't give me a super chat. You can help me out with the Buy Me a Coffee. It's in the show notes. But absolutely, white people are scared to death of being treated the same way they treat people of color. Absolutely, Linda. The whole movement now is the white men are being replaced when they are 67 to 70% of the population is white in the United States. They're just paranoid and they are racist. Yesterday, Trump was threatening to do a Venezuela and Cuba. Yeah, he says, oh, I could take Cuba. Beautiful country. I could take Cuba. They've got Cuba. They have blacked out the United States government of evil deed. They think they're doing the right thing because Marco Rubio's Floridian Cubans say it's horrible. If they had just taken the sanctions off of Cuba, it could have been thriving even more so. Even more so. They've got 10 million. The whole population is in blackouts and brownouts. God's sakes. Heather Heyer lives. And then we didn't even get to ICE, to talk about ICE, which we haven't heard as much about because of the Kristi Noem bullshit. I'm waiting to see if they prosecute her. But then how are they going to prosecute her with Pam Bondi at the helm? Although, interestingly enough, James Comer today is making it almost impossible for Pam Bondi to say no, that she has to come before the committee again, and this time she can't lie. The Epstein committee, because the Epstein shit's still going on. It's front and center. Don't let it get off your mind. Don't forget about it. Absolutely don't forget about it. So what did we go over today? We went over these white nationalists, but they happen to be Jewish, spewing their hate. We've talked about racism and hatred that is endemic in the United States. That's even worse. The war in Iran, which is wrong. It was a setup. It was wrongly set up. We've talked about things that just should never have happened. Yep, we've seen the mountaintop, but we've also seen the cesspool, which is Twitter. Only not the Climate Crisis Club, of course. Let's see. Did anyone see the report that Trump lost, Harris won in Florida? No, I haven't seen that one yet. All right, well, there's a lot of stuff that we'll have to look at. Well, thank you guys for coming. I hope you got something out of this. You know, it's different for me to do this whole political thing than it is to do environmental, because I've been doing that for 10 years. But I'm very happy to see Benny Loco here. She has a channel also. And Betty Loco, what's the name of the channel that you guys all have too? That we probably all should be part of each other. We all think the same way. It's all intertwined. All right. Just look at the EPA. Oh, God. Yeah, right. And they're not televising, but it's tomorrow. They don't want a replay of the last one. Yeah, her theatrics, her lying theatrics. I'll tell you what. If I'm still alive, I cannot wait to see them all pay the price. And by the way, Ivana didn't fall down the steps and Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. 21st century suffragettes. Yay! All right. Give them a hand and a shout out. That's right. Great show. Great show. Great singer. Oh, yeah. All right. And Betty's show is on 4 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. All right. Sounds great. They're on before mine. All right. That's awesome. And I think so. I'm not sure if we're doing Left Past 10 tomorrow night. I think so. But Left Past 10, right now I'm going to keep it on Environmental Coffeehouse because everybody's used to us on Environmental Coffeehouse. And I'm not ready to break in the political coffeehouse people that are here from Twitter yet, because I know I'm live on Twitter also right now. And so I'd say for my second live, I've got 31 people, but I'm happy to have 31 people watching. Twitter is a little dangerous probably because there's a lot of strange people there. And but I want a multi-stream there because if I can reach somebody with some commonality, I want to. Yeah, somebody actually accused me of cheering for Hillary Clinton, saying that she would bomb Iran, and I'm like, obviously they don't know me very well. Oh no. And they are all these right-wingers on X are trying to peg me into this, you're a Democrat, blue no matter who, and all this crap. I'm like, oh boy, they don't know me. They don't know me. All right. So anyway, Jenny, let me see where your comment is. Jenny, thanks for doing that, Lisa. I'm trying to do some video hunting for Thursday. Thank you for coming, Jenny. It was nice to have all of you. I am very happy to have you guys here. It's been fun. I enjoyed the show. And maybe next time I'll set up my videos a little better. But I did what I did. And yeah. Not read no matter who. Absolutely not. Oh, no. Absolutely not. Yeah, I believe that. You know I did, Ivana, and she's not dead. She's living in St. Petersburg. All right, guys. I love you. Love you, love you, love you. You guys are just wonderful. Thank you for coming. And don't forget, you can always buy us a coffee. Yeah, let me see if that works. There you go. All right. See you next week.